6 o'clock in the morning, and all the spots were taken except for this, like, it's a nice spot if you were in a car, the one that we're in, but it's not level for a van of our size, so we're kind of slanted. And it worked great for last night. It was the only spot left, the camp house said. I just went for a morning stroll. As I said, I think I already said it, 6 o'clock in the morning, and there's a spot open. So I'm gonna run back, get the van. We're gonna grab it. Beautiful morning though. This place is really sweet for free. You can stay up to 14 days. Depending on the time of the year, there's a camp host here that's kind of checking the specs. Gorgeous spot though. Settled in, got the spot over here. That was nice. That was slick that we got up early and looked. Not that I think someone would be coming in at 6 in the morning to look for a spot, but maybe someone else here may have took this. Hard to say. So that's nice. We got to check on solar, see what we're getting for solar. There's some trees here, but on that side, I guess half the day we should get decent solar, and in that regard we should be good. So yeah, pretty hard to beat for free. Talk about sun, I'm just blinded up here. Feels good though. It's really nice how the mountains over there are all lit up, and it's a beautiful view. I should let him go sit on his little perch and bird watch. Yeah, you think so? Is it 7? Quiet time's over. You can go out there and rustle around.
Wow, that is bright.
Isn't it?
Very bright.
Blinded.
Sorry, no photos, please.
So last time Rachel and I were here, I believe it was a little cooler, so we didn't do any of this hike or go around the lake. And this is beautiful. This reminds me of Minnesota quite a bit. Land of the lakes, kind of by where Rachel lived. We would always go on a little hike or go explore on the weekends and walk around the lake with Zeke. A lot of marsh areas. So this is cool. I don't really know where this leads. I'm assuming there's like a loop around the lake, but I could totally be mistaken. Nice though. You can stay here for 14 days for free. as I said, there is a host that came and checked on us last night, which is good. You know, it keeps checks and balances, make sure no one's staying here for a month. Probably keeps down on the riffraff. So hey, I'm all about that. But yeah, 14 days right off the highway. There is some highway noise if that bothers you. Doesn't bother us one bit. We just turn our fans on and go to sleep. We did find that level spot this morning, so that was huge. And yeah, I think we'll stay here until we run out of water, for sure. If Rachel's down with it, because this is great. Then when she's done with work or mid-afternoon, we'll do a walk around the lake with Zeke. I'll even unload the bikes, and both of us will go for a nice little bike ride. That'll be great. The only bummer is, and I mean, they're rules, so we'll follow them. You cannot have pets off leash, which for the wildlife's sake, totally get it, respect it. But our boy really likes to play BALL, and he would love nothing more than to fetch a stick into the water. And we would love that because it would give him a bath. But that's okay. No big deal. He'll get a lot of outdoor time. It's supposed to be like 75 degrees all week. So it's gonna be nice. But yeah, this is a nice find. I don't know how we really found this 2 years ago. I think Rachel was just looking on iOverlander and found this spot, and we're like, we'll give it a shot on our way to Utah. But it'd be nice to stay here for at least, if we can get by for 7 or 10 days, that would be clutch. There is a visitor center down the road, but from what I remember, filling up just a small water bottle took forever. So it's not like we're gonna drive down there and get 20 or 30 gallons, or we'd be there all day. But yeah, really unique. This is cool. Another perk to van life where it's just like, you know, home is where you park it, and here's this established spot on a lake. We don't have to pay lake property taxes. Sure, you don't have water and electric, but we have solar, and we packed in probably 30 or 32 gallons of water. So that'll last us for a decent while. And completely different terrain and landscape than what we've been used to for the first month. It's been a while since we've seen a lake. There's the reservoir over by Alamogordo, by the military base there, but that's not only toxic water, I guess there's a bunch of PFAS in there, so forever chemicals. Saw an article that came up on Google about a week after we were in there, and we knew not to let Zeke go by the water. I would leash him up and didn't let him go down by the water. But another sad part, you see that all over the United States, and all these plastics, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole with that, but it's really sad. I mean, when you get outside and enjoy nature and are in the wilderness exploring and seeing animals, and you know, to think that us as humans are damaging this and, you know, really screwing some of this stuff up with forever chemicals and plastics, and we're guests, man. These animals were here first. And anywho, yeah, beautiful. Check out this view. I think what we've experienced is so unbelievably unique, and all of you should try it too. I'm gonna flip this around because there is wind. To be able to just float around and explore all these different places and spend, you know, as much time as we want, generally, you know, about a week before we run out of water, and then we generally just go down the road to a different spot. But how crazy. I mean, it's like going back 100 years ago when our ancestors, they used to, you know, travel lightly, maybe even longer than that, but travel lightly, you know, only packed with them what they needed, what served a purpose. There wasn't just this abundance of trinkets and stuff. And that's what weighs you down. I mean, that's what basically holds you to your house and not uprooting and trying something new. And to just think There's all of these different places. And most of us as humans will spend our entire lives in one place. And comfort is the silent killer, to where as life goes on, as you age and get older, you seek routine, you seek safety, stability, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. But let's say we only have one life, you know? Let's say there isn't an afterlife. And no one has proof that there is. You're gonna spend your whole life just doing the same thing over and over again, looking at the same four walls, when there's all this out here. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think that's what we're designed as humans to do, or the gift we are given of being alive was meant to just spend all of our time in four walls. There's some statistic that says like 94% of our life nowadays is spent indoors. Don't quote me on that. It's high. It's over 90%, I believe. Little picnic table here. We could pack a lunch and come out here and just take in the views. Can't see the van yet. It's kind of through those trees. But that's really sad. I mean, that's what we're missing as humans, is fresh air, sunlight, nature, talking to new people, exploring new areas, and just going, wow, ain't that beautiful? And I talk about this a lot in a lot of my videos, but that's because it really hits close to me. It hits home. You know, up until 27 years old, I mean, that's basically all I did. So I'm not saying it like, hey, I've always done this, I've always been an outdoor person, you should too. It's very much been a discovery thing for me, and I'm like, wow, imagine if I would have waited my whole entire life and woke up because I thought, tomorrow, you know, I'll go explore, I'll do this, and then tomorrow never comes because you always just push it off. So by no means do I want these videos to come across as I'm preaching, I'm saying I have all the answers, I've figured it out, life is perfect, my way or the highway, nothing like that. But if I can speak from my own experience and the things that have shaped Rachel and my life, it would certainly be travel, meeting new people, having new conversations. Look at this. What a gem. So get out there and try it in whatever capacity. Like I said, you don't have to sell your house or get rid of your apartment and just be a full nomad. Go do this on the weekends. Set aside a couple trips a year to just go to a place you've never been. And I will personally say free camp, because it's unique, it's cheaper. You know, you save money. And show me a hotel. I mean, there are hotels that have nice views, but where you're like this secluded and you're out here and you're just so cool. And I think the part of where we had no idea we were going to be here, there was no set plan, it's nuts. You know, some people wait their 10 months to take a vacation, and then there's the flack of where I know everyone's going to be like, oh, well, I really wish I could do that, you know, I must be nice. And it's like, what you have to understand is we had a house, Rachel had an apartment, like we had all these things. And because we believed in ourselves and the plan to travel and do a different lifestyle than the conventional form, we got rid of those things. You know, I sold my house without a backup plan. There was no plan. There was no van at that point. There was no committed plan to saying, hey, we're going to be nomads, we're going to travel in a van. But we knew we wanted something more than just doing the same thing over and over again and then waking up one day and being like, that was it. So by taking those risks, now not having rent, not having a mortgage, you know, limiting our bills, not going out to eat a ton, we've really dialed back breweries. We used to love them, but we're like, beers are getting expensive, man. $10-11 for a 10-ounce beer. I like stouts. It's like, dude, it's $20 and it's okay to treat yourself. I'm not saying, you know, we use cloth for toilet paper and stuff like, no. And if you do, you know, no, more power to you. That's great. You know, you can save money in that avenue. We'll continue to buy toilet paper ourselves, but we look at the breweries and we're like, you know, if we do 40 of them and do the math on 2 beers or a beer, it's like we could go across the United States for that amount of money. We could apply that amount of money towards a ticket to go to Europe or to take another trip. So to round back, or to go back to what I was saying, there was a comment recently that said something like, oh, I really wish, you know, I have a 6-figure job and great health insurance, and I wish I could do what you were doing, but I don't. And it's like, that's okay. Maybe that's what you're designed to do. Maybe that truly makes you happy, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have that. I don't get to say, hey, you know, I have someone matching my 401k currently, I have great insurance, and I'm making 6 figures. I don't get to say that, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with substituting that for the time that is guaranteed, which is the present, right now, this moment, and knowing that there's a chance I won't wake up tomorrow. And I'm okay with that, because I don't really gamble. No, we don't gamble at all, other than, like, you know, cars and buses and a different alternative lifestyle that we believe in the plan. Is it kind of gambling? Sure, but it's, I think, risk versus reward. We're taking a risk, and if it works out, the reward will pay off. Statistically speaking, you know, pumping your money into the Powerball, scratch off tickets, stuff like that, like, there's a reason they say most people that do that are poor, because they're living on a dream. They're hoping it's going to happen to them. And statistically speaking, I think it's something crazy, like, you're more apt to get struck by lightning and bit by a shark at the same time than win the Powerball. And so it's just one of those things where we allocate our money to what we enjoy, and by doing so, we've created this life that we don't need to run away from, we run towards. And it has actually slowed down time, because we're always experiencing new things, talking to new people, and instead of just repeating the same thing over and over and over again, you have those chapters, like those mini segments throughout the week where you're like, wow, when Rachel and I, this trip had first hit a month of being on the road, I was like, no way. We've been on the road for 2 months for sure. No, we hadn't. It'd only been a month, because we slowed time down. We were doing new things. We were exploring new places. We were staying at places we had been at before, and it just kind of broke us out of that routine. So anyways, kind of rambling around here. I do that a lot. I try and go back to my original point. What I would say is most important is, if you want to do this lifestyle, make sure you're committed to where you want to. I mean, do you really want to? Do you want to sacrifice, you know, the comfortable nest of your home, your 6-figure job if they won't let you work remote? Do you want to sell 85% of the belongings that you've acquired over the course of your life? That's the biggest hurdle. Some have sentimental value. Some are like, oh, you know, I really like this. I worked really hard for this, and now I want to keep it. I only use it once or twice a year, but I still want to hold on to it. And for me, once I started downsizing and selling all that stuff before I knew I was going to sell my house, I was like, I want to get rid of the majority of it. I want to keep my tools, because that is something I can do to save money on working on vehicles of my own. If I find a good deal on a car, you know, I can wrench on it and put my skill to work to essentially make some money or have fun with it. But other than that, it was really just a case of where it's like, I don't need any of this stuff. What I want and need are experiences. I want to be able to explore and create memories with Rachel and continue to capitalize on this life that her and I have created. So I can get on here and do this for an hour and a half. Maybe this doesn't make any sense. Maybe you take this as I'm preaching, and please don't take it as I'm preaching. That isn't my point to this at all. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the right answer or it's applicable to you. This is just my journey and my experience, and just being completely transparent of where it's worked for us. We're 3 years into this, coming up here in April, and it single-handedly was the best decision we've ever made. I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm not trying to tell you this lifestyle is the best thing there is, everything else sucks. You might get out and do this and say, I hate it. I hate the alone time. I hate being away from structure, decision fatigue. You know, there's factors, but no different than being comfortable and staying in the same place, doing the same thing over and over again. It's like, that gets exhausting too, you know? So I'm more so just throwing all this out there because if there's someone that needs a little push in the right direction, I used to be that person. I used to doubt the whole process. I used to say, no way. And with my ex-girlfriend, no way in hell would this have ever worked. Not a chance. So by finding the right person, that changed things for sure. I think I need to take a left somewhere around here. We'll see. All we got is time. Having the right person is huge. It's key, you know. If Rachel and I didn't have the relationship that we have and had initially going into this, none of this ever would have worked. So that's definitely important. Or if you're going to do it solo, you know, you got to be strong. You got to realize that you're going to have to check in. You know, where am I going to stay? Where am I going to get water? What am I going to do? I can do all these different options. And, oh, this is saying I still continue to keep going. That can get seriously exhausting because it's one of those things of where, are you safe? Is this a good area? Are you going to get stuck? Is there bad weather? You know, do you have enough water? Do you have enough power? All of those different things. And that's a daily thing, you know? Where's the closest grocery store? Is it safe to leave my car here? Is my dog okay? Is the weather going to be... It's just, there's all these different questions and variables, but it keeps you on your toes. It keeps your mind sharp, as opposed to just kind of waking up in the morning going, oh, got to go into the same job, do the same thing for 5 days. Maybe I can get drunk this weekend to escape my reality. I'm not saying that's everyone. There's people that love their jobs. We have to work for a living. I understand all of those components, but when you eliminate rent and your mortgage, which is a good chunk of your income, especially nowadays, you can step back and evaluate things from a different perspective. You can sit on a bench and look at a mountain landscape and say, who am I? What do I want to do? What makes me happy? Is money the objective, or is experiences? What if I get, you know, a cancer diagnosis or a terminal illness? Would I look at my life as I would have done the same exact thing that I did for the last 5 years, or would I have changed things? And when you start to evaluate your life like that, it's really interesting how what's important or what you thought was important completely changes. Because at the end of the day, you have an abundance of money and all these things. You can't take that with you. When it's your final day, which you don't know when that will be, are you going to wake up and say, I missed time with my kids? I never spent time with my dog because I worked 10, 12 hours a day, and then my spouse and I had activities with the kids. We wanted to eat, like go out to eat, get out of the house. And then it's like, that's your life. Rachel and I spend 24 hours a day with Zeke. And because we live in 70 square feet, we want to get outside. We don't want to sit in that van. That's a life hack. It pushes us outside. And hey, we're willing because we like being healthy. We like the outdoor time. We like the vitamin D, fresh air, and we like, you know, getting him exercise. So it's a win-win. Anyways, life is great if you want it to be. And I'm not sitting here painting a picture that my life is perfect. I have days where I wake up and I'm like, dude, you used to do customer service and sales. You like talking to people, but the job that you did was, you know, it was just a case of where 3 years into it, I'm like, I'm miserable, man. I go into work, I do the same thing, rinse, repeat. It's not rewarding. It doesn't make me think. It's an easy job. And then with cars, I knew cars were never going to be the long-term gig because I enjoyed working on cars when it was just for myself. But once you start doing it, like, you know, 40 hours, 50 hours a week, you're just like, I'm burnt out on this. I hate this. And I'm 6'1", so bending over a car, it's like I'll have lower back pain by the time I'm 35, 40. I don't mind working hard, so there is still the chance that I'm going to go into more of a labor job and try and work, you know, my way up with people skills and stuff like that over the course of a couple years and get more into like a supervisor role or something like that, or a foreman, depending on what avenue I take. I don't know, this comes up a lot because it's relevant in my own personal life, and I'm sure some of you can relate to that as well, to where, are you happy in your job? Are you happy in the neighborhood that you live in? Are you happy with your partner? It's life, man. It's totally life. You should be asking yourself those questions. Because again, what if we only got one shot at this? So appreciate your time. Be aware of the present moment. It's a gift. It is a gift to be alive today. Start treating it like that. So much of my 20s, man, with the wrong job and someone that I feel was committed to misunderstanding me, and some of our indifferences, and I just wasted, dude. I wasted being wasted. And I wasn't an alcoholic, but it's like in Wisconsin, that's what we did on the weekends, was just, you worked all week just to get to the weekend to get drunk with your friends and escape reality. There's trails all over here. If you've watched some of these videos before, I'm sorry if it's repetitive. Skip forward if this is boring, or if you've made it this far, it must obviously be at some point intriguing to you. Leave a like if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment whether you didn't enjoy it or you did. If there's something that's relevant in your own personal life, or one of your stories, I'd love to hear it. I appreciate you listening to me rant, and I want to get better about this stuff, because as I'm talking about it, I've done so many of these and I just don't post them because I'm like, oh, this person that I know might get the wrong objective, or they might think this, or because they haven't lived the lifestyle that Rachel and I are living, they'll be like, what is he talking about? But that's okay. It's not my obligation to make them understand my life. We're all unique, and that's the best part about life, is everyone's got a different story, and you should embrace it. You should do what makes you feel alive, and that's what Rachel and I are doing, and we're going to continue to do that, because we're not living a life for anyone else. We're living a life for each other and building the foundation for our own personal life. If you guys could smell out here right now, it smells like fall back home. Just the smell of the leaves and fresh air. It's great. It's so therapeutic. It's exactly what we needed. Rachel's really gonna dig this. All right, we'll end on that note. Thanks for listening to me rant, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Get out there and live your best life. Well, we moved again, huh?
Yes, I think third spot's the charm.
I think so too. So that's the best part about dispersed camping. This one, there are regulated sites, but it's still free and you can bounce around. You're not reserved a site. But this one's a gem. So like I said, it was full when we got here last night. We can stay here up to 14 days, but this one has its own. You can stay there, buddy. You're gonna get on your leash. Yep. It's got its own little beach. Nice little fire pit over here. Gorgeous tree. I mean, seriously, how can you beat this for free? Our own little private beach. I dig it. Look at this breakfast. You have outdone yourself, Rachie.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just got back just a little bit ago from taking the horse for a walk. By horse, I mean Zeke. The spot's beautiful. Zeke's just chilling out there. We got a really nice view of the water. We both were like, hey, we've never stayed somewhere for 2 weeks before. Can we start rationing the water? And so I went and filled Zeke's water up down at the lake. So I mean, if he is that the one that was parked next to us, or no? At the second spot? No, I don't think so. If he's drinking out of the lake, that'll save some water. I don't know, we'll see. I don't think we would stay for 2 weeks anyways, but it'd be nice to stay here for a bit. It's really beautiful, and that walk I took this morning, Rachel really enjoyed that, and it feels secured, you know, with the host checking in on things. And certainly don't go without when we're in the middle of nowhere. say we eat better than we did when we had our places in full-size fridges, which is kind of wild. I think I'm gonna go out there. I was just finishing up a video, read my book out by the water there for a little bit. I wonder if Starlink would work for you with the doors open.
That's a good idea. I will try.
The highway noise might be a little loud though. What do you have to say? Huh? He's like, I want some of Mom's cooking.
We haven't tried it yet, so.
I feel like we always say we're having tiki masala. Don't we? I like it.
This is called something different.
Yeah. No, I like it. I'm just saying
This starts with a K. This is like a coconut one.
Kiki Nakalo. Nice. I'm excited to try it. So we've never had this flavor before? Or the sauce?
Same like Aldi kind of one though.
It is from Aldi? Are you getting upset? I hate to admit it, but I think he's getting more white up here in the front, isn't he?
He's not.
Yeah, he is.
No.
He's okay though. It's probably just the sun.
Yeah, like wands. You know?
Yeah.
Their hair changes in the sunshine.
From being in the desert.
Okay, should we do a flavor test together?
It's good. Thank you. It's flavorful. I think it tastes like the other one, kind of.
There is like a coconut flavor or something though.
Maybe. No.
No one knows what that means. It's our code word.
We went to a brewery in Colorado one time and I had a beer. And it was more Dodge, less Ram. Was it an IPA? I think so.
It was like 100 IBUs. Remember? It was like extremely happy. Bug. I don't know where you went. Probably flew in my mouth.
Nice.